Oh, hello, great readers. I'm Belchan.
I'm Nimikung.
I'm Van Chan.
In this class, I'll read to all of you a part of the Iliad of Homer.
Ass.
Ah.
The Iliad of Homer. Theodore Buckley. Chap, 16 sec 4. Tore all the burn and rent the nerves away. In darkness and in death the warrior lay. In equal arms 2 sons of Nestor stand, and 2 bold brothers of the Lycian band. By great Antilochus at Emmaus dies, pierced in the flank, lamented youth, he lies. Pen Maris, leading in his brother's wound, defends the breathless carcass on the ground. Furious he flies, his murder to engage, but godlike Thrasym prevents his rage. Between his arm and shoulder aims a blow, his arm falls spouting on the dust below. He sinks within the darkness covered door, and bends his soul, effused with gushing gore, slain by 2 brothers. Thus 2 brothers bleed. Sopton's friends. I'm Sodaris seed. I'm Sodaris. Who, by Fury's lid, the bane of men, abhorred Shimmer bread, sculled in the dart and vein. His sons expire, and pay the forfeit of their guilty sire. Stopped in the tumult clueless lies, beneath the Luzum, a living price not long the Trojans stood. The thirsty falchion drank his reeking blood. Plunged in his throat the smoking weapon lies. What death, and fate unpitying seal his eyes amid the ranks with mutual thirst of fame. Icon the brave and fierce Penelese came. In vain their javelins at each other flew. Ban, met in arms, their eager swords they drew, the daring like an aimed a noble blow. The sword broke short at his, full on the juncture of the neck and head. The head, divided by a stroke so just, hung by the skin, the body sunk to dust. taken Nemes by myriad bleeds, pierced through the shoulder as he mounts his steeds. Back from the car he tumbles to the ground, his swimming eyes eternal shades surround. Next Hermes was doomed his fate to feel, his open mouth received the curtain steel. Beneath the brain a point of passage tore, crashed the thin bones, and drowned the teeth in gore. His mouth, his eyes, his nostrils pour a flood. He sobs his soul out in the gush of blood, as when the flocks neglected by the swain, orchids, or lambs, lie scattered o'er the plain. A troop of wolves the unguarded charge survey, and rend the trembling, unresisting prey. Thus on the foe the Greeks impetuous came. Troy fled, a men full of her former fame, but still attacked to godlike Ajax seemed. Still, pointed at his breast, his javelin flamed. the Trojan chief, experienced in the field. O'er his broad shoulders spread the massy shield. Observed the storm of darts the Grecians pour, and on his buckler caught the ringing shore. He sees for Greece the scale of conquest rise. It stops, and turns, and saves his loved Alois. As when the hand of Jove a tempest forms, and rolls the cloud to blacken heaven with storms. Dark o'er the fields the ascending vapour flies, and shades the sun, and blots the golden skies. So from the ships, along the dusky plain, to our flight and terror drove the Trojan train. Even Hector fled. The fiery coursers forced their lord away, while far behind his Trojans full confused, wedged in the trench, in one vast carnage bruised. Chariots on chariots roll, tugged, while the madding steeds break short their yokes. In vain they labour up the steepy mound. The charioteers lie foaming on the ground, fierce on the rear, with shads Patroclus flies. Tumultuous clamour fills the fields and skies. Thick drifts of dust involve their rapid flight. Clouds rise on clouds, and heaven is snatched from sight. The affrighted steeds their dying lords cast down, scour o'er the fields, and stretch to reach the town. Loud o'er the rout was heard the victor's cry, where the war bleeds, and where the thickest die, where horse and arms, and chariots lie overthrown, and bleeding heroes under axles groan. No stopped, no checked. The steeds of Peleus knew. From bank to bank the immortal curses flew, high bounding o'er the foss, smokes through the ranks. Ozodix the flying war, and thunders after Hector. Hector flies. Patroclus shakes his lance, but fate denies. Not with less noise, with less impetuous force, the tide of Trojans urge their disparate course. Then when in autumn Jove his fury pours, and earth is loaden with insistent showers, when guilty mortals break the eternal laws, or judges, wiped from their deep beds he bids the rivers rise, and opens all the floodgates of the skies. The impetuous trance from their hulls obey. Whole fields are drowned, and mountains swept away. Love roars the deluge till it meets the main, and trembling men sees all his labours vain. Back to the ships his destined progress held, bore down half Troy in his resistless way, and forced the routed ranks to stand the day. Between the space where silver Simois flows, where lay the fleets, and where the rampires rose, all grim and dissimple Patroclus stands, and turns the slaughter on the conquering bends. First Prince died beneath his fiery dart, which pierced below the shield his valiant heart. Thestor was next, who saw the chief appear, and fell the victim of his coward fear. Shrunk up he sat, with wild and haggard eye, nor stood to combat, nor had force to fly. Patroclus marked him as he shined the war, and with a money trembling shook the car, and dropped the flowing reins. Him twixt the jaws, the javelin sticks, and from the chariot draws, as on a rock that overhangs the main, and Angor, studious of the Lion and King. Some mighty fish draws panting to the shore, the gaping dested. As the spear was shook, he fell, and life his heartless breast forsook. Next on a sea flies, a stone, large as a rock, was by his fury thrown. For on his crown the ponderous fragment flew, and burst the helm, and cleft the head in two. For unto the ground the breathless warrior fell, and death involved him with the shades of hell. Then lo and distapals, it shares, thou, Ephes, Evibus. To be continued.